Ladies and gentlemen, William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, has crafted an elaborate strategy for his 2027 re-election. And that strategy is now coming out clearly. And the biggest question which most Kenyans are asking is whether Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance are actually ready to stop William Ruto. And for those who've been following this channel, I've always opined that William Ruto is one of the easiest presidents to actually defeat because he promised Kenyans heaven, but he delivered them to hell. But can Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance actually stop William Samoei Arap Ruto? In this video, I want to reveal to you guys William Ruto's strategy for 2027. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. What we do on this channel is that we analyze politics in a way you can't find any other place. So the best thing is to subscribe. The next time we produce a video, you'll be notified. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to just dive in. What are some of William Ruto's strategies for 2027? Because William Ruto is already campaigning and implementing these strategies. William Ruto's first strategy, for those who might not know, is the UDA party elections. Why is UDA party elections important for William Ruto?
Mambo ya uchaguzi wa chama. Mimi naona hapo ndio mmenyamaza. Hapo kwa uchaguzi. Hapo kwa uchaguzi, my friends, tunaelewana? Nyinyi mnajua hii chama tulifanya ukarabati madakika ya mwisho. Si ndio? Mungu akatusaidia tukafaulu. Sasa sisi wote hapa, hata mimi kama party leader, hakuna mtu amenichagua. Si ndio? Mimi niko tu hapa. Kirigiji yako area tu hivi. Hawa watu wote, hata hii Malala, sijui research, hata sasa anasema asante sana nimepatiwa nafasi, lakini wenye chama hawajasema, sasa watakuja kusema. Si ndio? Lazima tukubali my friends. Hii chama iko na wenyewe. Na wenyewe lazima waseme. Tunaelewana? So nasikia watu wengi wanasema sijui maybe this is not the right time, maybe tungengojea, maybe tungepanga siku nyingine. Hapana, this is the time. Hatuwezi kufanya uchaguzi ya chama kama uchaguzi inakaribia ile ya national sita tukoroga. Sasa heri saa hii kama kinaumana kiumane saa hii ndio tujue vile ya kujipanga.
UDA party elections is actually very important and strategic for William Samoei Arap Ruto for three reasons. Let me just reveal to you guys those reasons. Number one, William Ruto wants to take charge of UDA party. And by taking charge of UDA as a political party, it means William Ruto will be able to determine who gets elected here, who gets elected there, and who becomes what in that party. Remember, William Ruto won the presidency in quote in 2022 without even a party. UDA was formed just last minute as a vehicle for the election. It didn't even have structures. So the question is, why would William Ruto now focus on election? He wants to take charge of that party, and through that is going to determine who becomes elected there, who becomes what, because currently as we speak, there are several competing interests in UDA party. For example, if elections were to be just left like that, there are certain individuals whose allegiance are to Rigathi Gachagua in the mountain, and they might defeat those whose allegiance are to William Ruto in Mount Kenya. And William Ruto will not allow that. So he has to take control of the party. And that's why he decided to bring someone as an outsider, Cleophas Malala, as the Secretary General of UDA party during this transition of conducting UDA party elections. The second strategy behind party elections is that William Ruto intends to use UDA as a political party for his campaign strategy. How is that possible? You know, a good political party should actually be able to provide party agents. Do you know why Raila Odinga could not produce a single form during the Supreme Court ruling? Because his agents were not ODM members. William Ruto's UDA party is actually structured in the format of ODM party. Their structures begin at the polling stations, which means at each polling station, for example, in my village polling station, they have officials there, just like ODM has officials across the country. So it's easier for UDA to produce agents, their own agents, rather than depending on the deep state. Because for Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila, they were depending on deep state, they were depending on outsiders to identify agents. So which means those who believed in Raila in the mountain were never agents. By the end of the day, they didn't have agents. So for Ruto, he's focusing on this so that he can have party agents who are UDA allies. And that's why in the grassroots, UDA are very busy. The third reason why Ruto is focusing on party elections is for perception creation. You know, politics is a perceptual game. And the truth of the matter is that in 2027, William Ruto might not get the kind of support he got from the mountain, which means he has to go and win some support from Azimio strongholds. And perceptionally, if you look at the way Ruto is conducting his party elections, if you go to Nyanza today, every single day you'll find UDA very busy, you know, while the rest of UDA members from, let's say, the mountain and Rift Valley are busy making money in government, UDA operatives in Nyanza are busy with party elections to an extent that they realized late that almost all UDA leaders who would have served in those positions are actually board members. And that's why the other day you saw Malala saying they'll have to allow those board members to contest. So the truth is they want to create a perception. In Homa Bay alone, for example, they're saying that they've registered 130,000 people, which means during election, William Ruto can actually just get, in quotes, 60,000 votes from Homa Bay. And it will be justified that they actually had members. We had elections of the party. So the truth is, it's going to aid him during rigging, especially during ODM strongholds. People will just justify, just like what he did in Mombasa. The second strategy, apart from the party election, is actually early campaigns. And by the way, what do you think ODM can do to counter William Ruto's party elections? Now, let us go to the second one, which is early campaigns. Now, let me ask you this question. Who will be Azimio presidential candidate in 2027? When will that candidate be unveiled? And when will they come up with a strategy on how they were going to sell that candidate? So the truth of the matter is that as we speak today, UDA already has a presidential candidate who is William Ruto. For Azimio, they're yet to decide whether that candidate will be Raila, whether that candidate will be Kalonzo, whether that candidate will be Martha Karua, whether it will be my friend Wajakoya V. They're yet to decide. And that's a very big problem. But William Ruto is already engaging himself in early campaigns. And what is the significance of early campaigns? Number one, visibility.
Na vilevile niwahakikishia kwamba poti ya Mombasa, poti ya Lamu na special economic zone ya Lamu na special economic zone ya hapa Dongo Kundu pia tutapanga. Tumezungumza miaka nenda miaka rudi. Safari hii tunaweka mpango kamili ambayo itapanua poti ya Mombasa, itapanua poti ya Lamu, na tutahakikisha kwamba ajira inapatikana, rasilimali inapatikana.
If you've been following William Ruto, he's moving around the country in the name of development. There is no development which is taking William Ruto to coast. I mean, totally, there's no development taking Ruto to go and open a sewer line somewhere, you know, to go and open some 5 billion, I mean, some 5 million fish what, you know, no development. It's purely politics. And William Ruto is doing it in a very smart way that is actually targeting areas or regions where no president has ever stepped in. No president. The truth of the matter is that power is power. It's sweet. And when Ruto goes to a place where people have never seen the president, is taking the presidency there, is taking those vehicles there, it leaves an impact in their minds. Some of those people, when they'll be going for an election, for the voting on election day, most of them might have not even seen Raila or Kalonzo or the other candidate, but for them, they'll just go and vote for the man they saw in their village. And, you know, this is just the first year. You never know what Ruto is going to do in the second year, the third year, because normally Presidents, members of parliament, and governors are supposed to work in the first year, second year, and third year. Fourth year and fifth years are normally for campaigns. But now we have a president who is not sitting in office, just campaigning in the region. So it is creating that visibility, which is also going to help in creating perception that William Ruto ni mtu wa development. William Ruto is someone who we used to see. How can Azimio counter that? If Azimio was serious, what they'll do today, what I'll advise them to do, is to come up with a shadow cabinet. Then those shadow cabinet will actually put this government to task. You see, on the issue of taxation, for example, which is something good for Azimio, they're not taking good use of it. I'm reading the Nation newspaper today and I'm actually shocked. You get? So, Azimio must also embark on a strategy on how they were going to counter William Ruto's early campaigns. When William Ruto leaves the coastal region, Azimio should go to the coastal region and explain to them that some of the projects William Ruto is launching were actually launched by Uhuru Kenyatta and he has done nothing. So they should be able to demand new projects. And number 3, William Ruto's third strategy, and this should worry Azimio as well, is that William Ruto is now focusing on Azimio strongholds. Mombasa, Nyanza, Western Kenya. And of course, you can understand why William Ruto is doing that. 3 main reasons. Number 1, I think William Ruto believes that Raila Odinga might not be on the ballot in 2027. And therefore, he needs to inherit Raila Odinga support base. The truth of the matter is that when it comes to numbers, real numbers, nobody beats Raila in terms of numbers. He defeated Kibaki in terms of numbers. He defeated Uhuru twice in terms of numbers. He defeated Ruto in terms of numbers. The only thing he doesn't know, and Miguna is very clear on this, he doesn't know how to get the presidency. So Ruto is now focusing on that support base, that in case Raila Odinga will not be on the ballot, then some of those people should not automatically shift to the candidate he's going to propose. He's going to them. He's going to persuade them that we are here. The other reason why he's focusing on Azimio strongholds is basically for his rigging schemes. Rigging is very simple as long as you can create a perception of numbers. You see, for example, if William Ruto wants to win to get the support of Nyanza, and Nyanza people are not willing to support him, and they are now not Raila Odinga is not a presidential candidate, it's just easy for Ruto to target, let's say, 20%. So Kalonzo will get 80, Ruto will get 20%. In the system, people will be okay. But at the end of the day, he has 20% or 30%. Rigged there. Unless Kalonzo will be out to focus on other regions. But Azimio strongholds, Ruto is targeting for rigging. And that's why if you are keen, Ruto is no longer interested in Ukambani because he knows that Kalonzo is going to be on the ballot. And however much he will be in Ukambani, they will still vote for Kalonzo. So would rather have Musalia Mudavadi as Minister for Foreign Affairs, who might deliver, and not Alfred Mutua, who will not manage Kalonzo wave in Ukambani. So it's basically for rigging schemes. And importantly, the focus on Azimio stronghold is also kind of fallback strategy in case Mount Kenya will not be on the ballot. The other day, Kanini Kega was on Inoro, and he was explaining to those people that, ours has always been about Raila Odinga. We are rallied because of Raila Odinga. So in a case where Raila Odinga is not on the ballot, where will the mountain vote? Now they'll have the option. Those who are not happy with Ruto will now figure out, do we vote for this guy because Raila is not there? What about the turnout? So it's part of William Ruto's fallback strategy for Mount Kenya. And of course, number 4, his fourth strategy is politics of money. Now, I know most of you don't understand. But if you are keen, and you followed my politics of money, of Harambee, Rift Valley leaders and senior government officials are always attending Harambees everywhere in the Republic. The other day, they were in Asembo, where they identify those who can speak Luo and spoke with the Luos in Luo, and they contributed huge sums of money in assembly. The other day, yesterday actually, they were in Kakimba village. You know, that Arambe was fashioned to be some other thing, but the faces, the people who really contributed real money were actually William Ruto's allies from the backyard. If you look at the photos there, you will see them. So that is the strategy, and they're doing it across. Maybe the office of the president is giving them some money to move around. So the politics of money, William Ruto understands the power of the politics of money, because you can use that power of money to actually influence and persuade Kenyans to vote for you. And lastly, William Ruto's strategy is to gamble, the Luya Kikuyu gamble. Whether it's going to pay off, William Ruto wants to win the support of the Luya nation. At the same time, he wants to retain the support of the Kikuyu nation. And that's going to be a challenge for Rigathi Gachagua, who views Musalia Mudavadi as being favored. And at the same time, the Luya nation are also hopeful that Ruto will endorse Musalia Mudavadi or even make him his running mate. But the question is, will the Kikuyus and Luyas fall for the gamble? And lastly, the deep state. Deep state. Ruto is smart with the deep state. He's planning and is plotting. William Ruto is planning for IBC, while Raila Odinga and Azimio are focusing on the commissioners. Ruto is skimming the back end, because that back end is what is most important. And of course, you know, the police, you saw how they were dealing with Azimio during the protest. That was just a test run. That was just a test run. And of course, I want to assume that if William Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya and Azimio are in Bomas of Kenya, and you want to tell me that the new IBC commissioner will declare Ruto, do you think it can happen? Do you think if Ruto is defeated, do you think the IBC commissioner can declare Kalonzo or say Martha Karua as the president-elect? Do you think it can happen? Some of us don't think it can happen. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.